Good morning, dearest Natasha Milam. This video is just for you. Let me say thank you so much for watching my videos, coming in my chat and joining in. You are always welcome. You are welcome because I love you and I love your tea parties. And thanks so much for inviting me to your tea parties. Okay? Thanks for also for taking the time to think about the videos that I have made concerning that woman. And let me just say that this issue is really not about light skinned versus dark skinned people. I understand everything that you're saying. Thanks for sharing your story. I absolutely agree. The makeup of your family, even down to your grandmother and grandfather or father and mother, I believe, is exactly like my makeup. Like you, my grandmother was passing. Her father was an American Indian. He was an indigenous Indian. And I remember him as a little girl because he was really old when we were kids, and he was always in the room. He was bedridden, and we would run in and out, and he would give us candies, and we would play with him, and we would put logs in the fireplace. Sometimes we would put other things, including my grandmama's cat, because we couldn't stand that cat in the fireplace. It jumped out. We didn't burn it. We were scared of it after that because it jumped out the fire. But anyway, that's another story. But our family makeup is just like your family makeup, actually. And my grandmother did, I believe, as well on purpose, marry a very dark-skinned man. My grandfather, he was from Georgia. He was the darkest, most beautiful black man that I had ever seen in my life. But that is preference. There is a difference between preference and colorism. We all have our preferences, and who we choose to date or sometimes, who we choose to date is the result of our preferences sometimes. Now, you brought up the issue of colorism, especially as it pertains to black men, especially the more popular black men. I believe that some of these black men, for some of them, when they date lighter skinned women or even Caucasian women, I think some of it is preference, but I also think that a lot of it is self hate. And you talked about those dark skinned people that pick on light skinned people, or lights for assuming that light skinned people think they're better than anybody else. I've never had that problem, but because of the makeup of my grandparents, I'm in the middle. I'm not too dark and I'm not too light. And there's a term for that, but I've never had an issue with colorism personally. I don't have an issue with self-hate, and that is not because of the color of my skin. That is because, the knowledge that I have concerning my people, and I love my people, and I grew up with that knowledge because of my people. But a lot of people have self-hate issues, especially a lot. It seems like a lot of black men have some self-hate issues, especially if they're darker hued. I don't know why that is, but it go. I like you. I believe that, and I'm trying to be sensitive here because I don't want to put all black men in the same box, because that is not true for all black men. My husband is black. You know what I mean? My I have one cousin that had children and married a Caucasian woman. They got divorced, and that's a whole nother story. But everybody else that's married in my family, they are married to black people as well. So, but for some men, for some reason, even though the darker skinned man is the man that is, by for a lot of women, uh, their preference is a darker skinned man. Not all women, but for a lot of women in the black community, their preference is a darker skinned man. But as far as a lot of dark skinned men go in particular, a lot of them have, issues with colorism themselves. And that is why they want to marry or procreate with lighter skinned women, hoping that their children will come out lighter. And I believe that that is a deep seated type of colorism. And I agree with you when you mentioned the house Negro and the field Negro. It goes back to that, Natasha, because we have so much internalized racism. I mean, no, I'm sorry. We can't be racist. We can be prejudiced or bigoted. I used the wrong word. Please forgive me. We have so much internalized colorism. And I'm not starting this video over, girl. I did this video just for you, and I didn't even have my coffee yet. I was just so excited. I was like, oh my God. Well, anyway, girl. Because a lot of people, a lot of our people, unfortunately, have to deal with some type of internalized colorism. And I think that a lot of them deal with internalized colorism because of the trauma that is encoded in our DNA, because of the horrible treatment and the horrible things that our ancestors, light and dark, had to endure during the time of chattel slavery. It is so traumatic that the trauma from that event is actually encoded or downloaded, if you will, in our DNA right today. And so for that reason, I think people, some black people, grow up with a lot of a lot of mental illness, a lot of colorism, a lot of issues that they don't even see as an issue, but all of that is the result of chattel slavery. All of that is the result, lighter hued people, they are a result of the slave master, raping the female slave. And so you had another sub-race, no, I mean sub-identified, if you will, sub-identified group of black people. Because all those slaves that came off the boat, they weren't as light as you. Now, you have some Ethiopians that are as light as you, but the Ethiopians fought back, and none of their people were taken into slavery unless they caught them by themselves or something. I'm sure some were, but as a whole, that didn't happen to the Ethiopian people. But anyway, that's a video for another day, girl. But getting back to your question, my issue that I had, and I don't have an issue with that woman. I don't have an issue with her skin color. Just let me say. The issue that I have with her, it has nothing to do with her skin color, Natasha. I don't have internalized colorism issues. I have lighter hued and darker hued people in my family just like you do. I understand exactly what you're saying because my family has always lived in the South. Do you see what I'm saying? Even down to my grandmother and my grandfather, excuse me, marrying, darker or lighter hued each other. Just down to that. It's very common in the South, I think. I don't know so much about up north, but I think that it's very common because when you explain to me the makeup of your family, I was like, that's just like my family. And it's that way for a lot of us, especially down south. You know what I mean? And so anyway, to answer your question, because I know this video is too long, but I'm so happy that you commented on my video and put my name in the title. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, girl, to answer your question, my issue is with Ask April is not on the outside. She is biracial. It's not even the fact that she is biracial. That is not my issue. Listen to me, Natasha. My issue with her is not that she's lighter hued, and it's not that she's biracial. My issue with that woman is the fact that she has made several racially insensitive comments. And when you are a biracial person and you are speaking predominantly to a group of black people, moreover, black women, be they light or dark, you should not, you can do whatever you want to do, but you should not be racially insensitive. The thing is, the gag here is, Natasha, I don't even think she realizes it. She made one comment in particular that I was very offended myself by, and a lot of people were. The comment was, I can be black when I need to be black, and I can be white when I need to be white. So, Natasha, nowhere in your video did I hear you say that I can be light when I need to be light. I can be dark when I need to be dark. See, black people, people of color, even you, we can't take off our black and put on white. And we can't take, and if we were white, we couldn't take off our white and put on our black. Things just don't work that way in the black community. And when we wear this skin that we're in, we have to live the experience of being black in America. We can't sidestep it. We can't take it off. We know that racism reigns supreme in this country, especially right now. And we, a lot of the times, are the target of that racism. So when you make comments like that, I can be black when I need to be black, I can be white when I need to be white, that is racially insensitive. And that is my issue with that woman. It is not her hue. It is not about light-skinned people or dark-skinned people or even biracial. It's about being racially insensitive. A lot of black men, you were talking about a lot of black men choose to date, especially after they become famous, lighter hued or even either biracial or even white women. That, in my opinion, is deep-seated colorism. And some of it is also preference, but some of it is deep-seated colorism. And, because they have a lot of men, I'm talking about men. I did a video about this yesterday. It's called Global Colorism, Natasha. I hope you go check it out. But a lot of that is very detrimental to our people because you have a lot of black men online speaking very derogatorily about black women, light and dark. They're not discriminating. They're just speaking derogatorily about black women. And all of that purports the issue of colorism and prejudice and bigotry, and it's racially insensitive for them to be online saying all these very derogatory things about their own people, the female in their race. It's left us, it's gotten so bad to the point that it's left us black women unprotected. But as a whole, as a collective in this black community, we have to fend for ourselves. So when I heard about what she had said, and I heard that comment with my own eyes when she said she could be black when she need to be black, and she could be white when she need to be white. I'm sorry. All of that is very insensitive, and her as a biracial woman ought to know better, because not only is she a biracial woman, she's an adult, and if you're living in this United States of America, you are aware of what is going on in this country. You are aware of what's going on in the black community. You know that is racially insensitive for you to say that. Or maybe you don't. Like I was saying, I don't even think that she thinks that she's being racially insensitive. But that is because her upbringing, and like you, our preference is surrounding our upbringing. You mentioned that you love your black self. And you correct people when they say you are anything other than black. My sister and my nieces do that as well. They are proud of being black. My niece actually had her kids, and her kids are very light because she is very light. They took after my grandmother. And on her youngest daughter's, who is autistic, on her youngest daughter's birth certificate, they actually put that her youngest daughter, they checked biracial or whatever that box is. My niece was highly offended, and they quickly corrected that on her birth certificate because her father is a black man. But because of her genetic makeup via her family, her daughter is light-skinned. She's got really good hair. It's almost red. I have a cousin with the same features. They thought that baby was biracial. So I understand when you talk about the makeup of the black family. But unfortunately, a lot of especially darker hued people have issues with internalized colorism because the standard of beauty in the United States of America and worldwide, that's why I spoke about global colorism, the standard of beauty that they have pushed on us forever is the lighter or whiter you are, the more privilege that you get. And so that is an issue that a lot of people have to deal with, unfortunately. But personally, me, I don't have to deal with that issue because, I guess I'm right in the middle. I'm not too dark and I'm not too light. So personally, I have never had to deal with any type of internalized colorism. I didn't even realize until me and my sister start going to school that some darker hued people felt that way about lighter hued people, because my sister had to fight the whole time that she was in school. Every once in a while she'll have a fight simply because a darker hued girl wanted to pick on her. And that darker hued girl, she felt some kind of way about my sister's skin tone, because I can't even imagine the colorism issues that she was dealing with, when the whole world is telling you that you are ugly simply because you are a dark-skinned, beautiful black woman. But you don't know you are a dark-skinned and a beautiful black woman, because the world is telling you that you are a dark-skinned and a ugly black woman simply because of the color of your skin. I would imagine some dark-skinned, not all, some dark-skinned women would feel some kind of way. They would feel that some light-skinned women assume that they are better than them. Now, that is that assumption. It is probably wrong most of the time. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that is a personal issue that they're dealing with because of what the world says about their dark skin. That is a personal, internalized assumption, because they have to deal with colorism on a whole nother level that I could never imagine. So they just lash out and deflect their own insecurities on lighter skinned people. But like I said, it's internalized racism, Natasha. But this wasn't about that. This is not about light skin and dark skin. This is about the racially insensitive comments that a biracial woman said several times over, from what I understand. I don't watch her videos. I am not subscribed to her channel. And I realized this issue that was going on in this beef sector of YouTube. Why this issue is going on, I don't understand. I don't understand why somebody has to say racially insensitive things, because that is what sparked the flame. People gonna come at you, especially in the beef sector. But what you should not do, in my opinion, you can do what you want to do. What you should not do if you are a biracial person in a predominantly black sector of YouTube, you should not make racially insensitive comments, especially as they pertain to black women. That is going to be a problem. So she has to deal with her own internalized colorism issues, her own self, her own life experiences, her own self. But what she should not do is deflect her insecurities off on everybody else, because we have to deal with a subject like this in the beef sector. Now, I can see if this was in the conscious sector, but we all the way over here in the beef sector dealing with the issue of colorism. That's ridiculous. But you have to ask yourself, seriously, who started the issue? Because something had to be said at the genesis of the issue to get this conversation started. And from what I heard out of my own ears, I can be black when I need to be black. I can be white when I need to be white. Like you can take it off like it's a shirt or something. Like you're changing your shirt. We can't do that. That is racially insensitive. We have to be black 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have to be black in this United States of America, which has oppressed our people ever since our ancestors got off the boat. We cannot take it off. We cannot switch it up like it is, like we changing our shirt. So that is racially insensitive, Tasha. But thank you so much for asking that question, because I don't want you to think that this is about light skin versus dark skin, because quite frankly, it's not, Tasha. It is about the racially insensitive comments that were made by a biracial woman. So that is what's going on, and that is why I spoke out about it, baby. But once again, I'm going to get off here because I'm sure I've talked too long. But like I said, thank you so much for putting my name in the video and listening to my videos and participating in my channel, because, honey, your black is beautiful as well. I love you, Natasha. Thank you so much for inviting me to your tea party. I so enjoyed myself. Please come around to my side of the porch anytime you like. because what you said was very thought-provoking, and it was very deep, and it was very personal, simply because I can relate to your family. I can relate to some of the things you've had to experience. I can be sympathetic. I can't be empathetic because I'm not a lighter-hued woman, but I can be sympathetic because I've had to fight beside my sister because somebody was coming at her. Another black woman was coming at her because of the color of her skin. But this is not that this time, baby. This is about racial insensitivity. And so that's what's going on right now. So anyway, girl, I hope I answered your questions. Your makeup look beautiful. That wig is to die for. And I love, love, love your tea party menu. Oh, and I was having the iced tea, girl, because you know down south, we got to have that iced tea in the summer, girl. All right, so anyway, I'm going to talk to you later, Natasha. Thank you so much for taking the time to make such a thought-provoking video and giving me a chance to respond to your question. Thank you so much. And girl, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace.